We have brother versus brother as the Los Angeles Chargers will take on the Baltimore Ravens in Los Angeles. This is your Week 12 2024 prediction and preview video. Hit subscribe button if you're new. Also hit the like button. This is my game of the week and it's penciled in for Monday night. One of the best nights to watch football. Let's start off with the home team, the Los Angeles Chargers. This team is on a roll. They won in a close encounter last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, and man, this may have been one of the best games of the year. They went out there and they won this ball game 34-27. Joe Burrow on the day was 28 of 50, 356 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Justin Herbert, 17 of 36, 297 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. The Chargers had the Bengals down at halftime. They were making a huge comeback in the second half, but they were able to hold off until the very end, and J.K. Dobbins got the game-winning touchdown. And on the day, J.K. Dobbins, 2 rushing touchdowns, 56 rushing yards, 5 yards a carry. And this matchup against the Baltimore Ravens, you have to go out there and be consistent with the pass game. They still have one of the worst passing defenses in the NFL, but last week, the Ravens, they stepped up to the table against the Steelers. But when I look at the Chargers wide receivers, they have continued to get better every single week with Ladd McConkey, Joshua Palmer, and with Quentin Johnston. Ladd McConkey looks like a true number 1 wide receiver. Ladd McConkey last week, 6 catches, 123 receiving yards, and one of those catches were major late in the fourth quarter. Will Dissly, 80 receiving yards on the day, 1 receiving touchdown. Quentin Johnston, 48 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown. You have to get the pass game going, but you don't want to give up on the run game. It's so many stories in this matchup. You have brother versus brother at the head coaching spot. You have Greg Roman, the offensive play caller, now with the Chargers with the former offensive play caller with the Ravens. J.K. Dobbins was drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, dealt with injuries, and now he's on the Los Angeles Chargers. You have to go out there, feed J.K. Dobbins, feed Gus Edwards, who was also a running back with the Ravens last season. Feed the running backs and work off of that into play action with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert has done a phenomenal job this year of taking care of the football, and that's one thing that you're going to have to do. Even though the Ravens' passing defense is ranked at the bottom of the NFL, they have Kyle Hamilton. They also have Marlon Humphrey. They can take the football away. And Marlon Humphrey did that last week in the red zone against the Steelers. But when you look at Justin Herbert, 13 passing touchdowns to 1 interception. One of the best touchdown to interception ratios in the league up to this point. The one thing that you can't do is give this offense extra opportunities to go out there and score, whether it's by field goals or whether it's by going out there and getting touchdowns. Take care of the football, be patient with the run game, but work off the passing game. And I'm not saying that Justin Herbert has to go out there and have over 300 yards passing in this matchup to win, but take advantage of the secondary of the Ravens and use that to your advantage. And in short yardage situations, run the football with Gus Edwards and feed J.K. Dobbins. He should have more than 11 carries in this matchup. He only had 11 carries last week, and Gus Edwards only had 6 carries. This may be one of those situations to where you want to run the football a lot towards the outside, because when you look at the interior with the Baltimore Ravens, it's one of the best interior defensive groups in all of football. That's why they have one of the best rushing defenses in the league, with the linebackers that they have up front and with that interior defensive line with Matabuke and crew. And they also have Calvin Noy and Owe, who have been going out there and they've been finding ways to get pressure on the opposing quarterback. It's going to come down to Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, one of the best tackle duos in the league. And Bradley at the center position, he has played better over the last few weeks, and the same with Zion Johnson and Trey Pipkins. This is going to be a key matchup for them, but the wide receivers have to beat that man coverage and get behind the cornerbacks in this particular matchup. I like the Chargers a lot to match up with the Ravens in this ball game. When you look at the defense for the Chargers, they're beat up. They have a lot of questionable guys on the front, especially on the back end. Khalil Mack missed last week's game against the Cincinnati Bengals, and they missed him down the stretch. But you still have Thule, and you also have Joey Bosa. They're going to need Khalil Mack to go out there and play in this matchup. And you have to find a way to keep Lamar Jackson at bay inside the pocket. One thing the Steelers did last week, they ran a lot of the same packages that the team before did in the past. They did what the Denver Broncos did against the Ravens, but they were more aggressive with it. And we saw what the Ravens were able to do against the Denver Broncos. They went out there and they smoked them. But the one thing with the Steelers, they have very good pass rushers. That's also another thing the Chargers have. You have Joey Bosa, you have Khalil Mack, and you have Thule. They're just not your traditional pass rushers. They can go back there and they can match with the athleticism. Lamar Jackson is one of the fastest quarterbacks in the NFL. And you have Coach Jesse Mentor, who has been one of the best defensive coordinators easily in the NFL this season. You have to find a way to keep them inside the pocket and be disruptive on the back end. This is one of the best rushing defenses and one of the best passing defenses as a whole. Therefore, they're one of the top tier defenses in all of football. When you look at what they've been able to do on the back end with Christian Fulton and Cam Hart, they're going to have their pockets full. They're going to have their hands full, in this matchup. Part of that is because you're dealing with Rashard Bateman, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Derrick Henry, but you have the personnel for it. They're going to put 3 safeties out there on the field. I can see the Chargers going out there and running that nickel defense. And you may call me crazy. Why would they do that and they have a running back in Derrick Henry? Because they're so stout up front with Poona Ford. They have big bodies up front that can deal with Derrick Henry. It's going to be tough. I can see Derrick Henry going out there and having a very good game. But what makes this Chargers defense so tough and what made it so tough with Joe Burrow early on, they run that 3 safety look. And one thing that Coach Mentor did last week, he took a safety off the field and he went back into a traditional defense. This is a defense that plays fast. They're physical. They don't stack the box much, but when they do, they crowd the line of scrimmage and they make life hard on scrambling quarterbacks. I can see that being the case with Lamar Jackson. One thing to take note of, when the Chargers last played on Monday Night Football, they went against Kyler Murray, a very good game. They lost that game by 2 points. Kyler Murray had a long rushing touchdown in that matchup. You don't want to see that happen in this particular game with Lamar Jackson because he will take off. Lamar Jackson is the ultimate dual threat quarterback, so you have to keep a spy up, and I would say go out there with those 3 safeties. This is a Ravens team that's not your traditional Ravens team. Yes, they'll run the football. They'll play like a Raven, but they have Isaiah Likely. They have Mark Andrews, Rashard Bateman, Deontay Johnson. They will try to air you out. And the last time the Ravens played on Monday Night Football, they went out there and they completely decimated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's going to come down to Derwin James in this matchup, Christian Fulton, Gilman, and Elijah Molden. Be on lookout for him. He has 3 interceptions this season and 5 pass deflections. Right now, he is their best safety. And you also look at Henley as well in that linebacking room. This is going to be a fun matchup. Match the physicality up front and match the energy of the Baltimore Ravens. The Chargers could possibly go out there and make this a game. And depending on who you talk to, this could be an upset for the Chargers if they win this matchup. Now, let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens. Last week was a tough week. So many miscues. They lost to the Steelers 18-16, and the Steelers did not even have an offensive touchdown on the day. Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals, and I want to start off with him. He has to be more consistent. Stop the excuses. He said that the surface wasn't the best. Chris Boswell did not miss field goals last week. Matter of fact, he hit all of his field goals. Justin Tucker has to be consistent in this matchup. And the reason why I'm saying this, the Chargers are very similar to the Ravens in terms of running the football and stopping the run. It's one brother's philosophy versus the other's brother's philosophy. It's Harbaugh versus Harbaugh. But Justin Tucker is going to be a key figure in this matchup. When I look at Lamar Jackson last week, he did not play bad in my opinion. He did not play like a league MVP, but he wasn't the reason why they lost the game. Derrick Henry fumbled early on. It was a crazy interception to Peyton Wilson. He throws the ball to Justice Hill. Peyton Wilson rips the ball out of his hand. Lamar Jackson was 16 of 33, 207 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown to 1 interception, got sacked twice. And like I mentioned before, the interception was not on him. Let Lamar Jackson go out there and cook. But run the football more with Derrick Henry. If he fumbles, so what? Give him more than 13 carries in this matchup. Derrick Henry had 13 carries for 65 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown. And I'm not saying that the Chargers will go out there and completely just stop the run and then you just negate the run. Be patient with the run game just like the Chargers should in this matchup. If the Chargers go out there and they're stopping the run game, that's okay. Play through Lamar Jackson and then just let Derrick Henry field the football on 1st or 2nd down. Let Lamar Jackson fully carry on the offense if the run game isn't working, and that would be okay. And get Keaton Mitchell involved. Keaton Mitchell is healthy. He's able to go. He's a very fast running back. Last year, he tore his ACL against the Chargers. I'm telling you, it's a lot of different storylines in this matchup. And he was a key running back with the Ravens before he tore that ACL. He's very fast, and especially coming off the edge, get him involved. If Derrick Henry can't go out there and he can't find the crease to be explosive, put in Keaton Mitchell. And also stick with Justice Hill coming out the backfield. He got wide open. The linebacker just took the ball out of his hands. And Deontay Johnson has to catch the football in key moments. He had a major drop on the sideline that would have put the Ravens right there in scoring distance, so close to the goal line. I look at Zay Flowers. He had a major drop last week in the game against the Steelers. On the day, 2 catches, 39 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown. Isaiah Likely, 4 catches, 75 receiving yards. You don't have to force the football to anyone because you have key weapons on the perimeter with Lamar Jackson. But don't be one-dimensional. Run the football, go back to the basics, and let Lamar Jackson cook. It's that simple. And feature this offense through him. If it's one of those days where you want to run out there with just a 2 tight end set, feed Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. If that's not working out with the 3 safety look against the Chargers, go out there and match it with the intensity. Run the football and go out there with just 2 base wide receivers with Rashard Bateman and Zay Flowers. The Ravens have to get out their own way, stop making the mistakes, and just trust yourself. That's it. Especially in this matchup, don't second guess things because you're going against a very technical, sound football team. The Chargers are not dealing with that many penalties this season. Meanwhile, the Ravens, it's a lot of illegal man downfield off of RPOs, a bunch of holding calls. You don't want to see that in this matchup, and the offensive line is going to have to step up. When I look at the defense with the Ravens, the Achilles heel all season long is their pass defense. Well, they went out there last week and they made Russell Wilson look below average. They had a very good day. They stepped up. The defense did everything last week to win the game. Russell Wilson was 23 of 36 for only 205 passing yards, 0 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, and got sacked 4 times. They only let him pass for 9 yards a throw. That was it. In this matchup, you have to play through your front 7. I trust that the secondary will be better. Zachary Orr has been phenomenal against the run. Against the pass, not so much. And he's a top defensive coordinator in terms of stopping the run. That's what the Chargers love to do. Go out there and put a lot of pressure on the run game and put pressure through the middle of the offensive line on Justin Herbert and crew. Make that offensive line prove that they're good enough on the interior to go out there and help out Justin Herbert and force him to the right side to where Kyle Van Noy can go out there and possibly bring him down. Pressure is going to be key. Justin Herbert is a freakish quarterback. He's one of those quarterbacks that can throw across his body. He's similar to Josh Allen. He can take the deep shots down the field. And I would not play too much press man coverage in this matchup because if you do, you may be in a bit of a situation. You have to go out there and trust your defensive backs. Kyle Hamilton can move around. He can play single high safety. He can play inside the slot. He can also play as an outside cornerback. Use him in a versatile way in this matchup and take away Ladd McConkey. And be on lookout for Quentin Johnson. He's getting a lot of big plays. He had a huge play last week. He had a major play against the Steelers a couple months ago. He is a touchdown machine right now. Take him away with those big plays and force him to run underneath. And I also look at Marlon Humphrey. He's been a pick machine all season long. I trust for him to float around the secondary and be on lookout for him matched up with Ladd McConkey and be on lookout for Will Dissly. Like I mentioned before, these 2 brothers, they know each other very well. The last time they played on the big stage was in the Super Bowl, and the Ravens won that matchup. With that being said, this is going to be the closest game of the week for me. And I do have the Los Angeles Chargers walking away with the win, but it's going to be close. I think the Los Angeles Chargers win this matchup 28-27. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you have winning this game, the Los Angeles Chargers or the Baltimore Ravens? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.